All right, as is often the case when an idea is formed, a few of us got together and thought there has to be a better way. In this instance, it was charitable giving and the way we go about soliciting and giving donations. At the time, I was working for a major bank, serving on our community foundation board, which involved helping select which organisations would receive the company funds. The process was vague, and the reason behind it was even more vague. I became more and more dissatisfied with the way the company solicited funds from their employees and how the money was disseminated. Constant harassment from executives on if you were participating in the company pledge and how much you were giving based on the position you held. Log your volunteer hours, we were told. It became less of an individual's choice on philanthropic choices and more about making the organisation look like good corporate citizens. I seen this neither as appropriate, effective or moral. So a few of us got together and decided to contact a few local charities and see if we could find one we could get behind, only to find the client-facing organisations to be effective had to be specific in their certain demographics. That can often lead to people falling through the cracks. We wanted our assistance to be so narrow to make a difference and wide enough that no one fell through the cracks. Further investigation found that charitable organisations that receive money from city, county, state or federal governments have such burdensome guidelines that it often restricts their ability to create the kind of change they set out to do. What's most disturbing is the waste we witnessed in getting the much needed funds to the organisations that are client facing. Locally, United Way being one of the guilty culprits. Although we can review organisations like United Way through websites like Charity Navigator, it only tells part of the story. Aside from the executive salaries and benefit programs for the powers to be, the cost to recipient organisations continue to rack up with burdensome oversight and reduction in profits due to the entertainment they now feel obliged to provide to the middleman of philanthropy. My views may be in the minority, or who knows, they may be the silent majority of those not yet to take on the status quo. But trust me when I say, we'll pave the way for you. Excuse me. That is the why of Brevard Random Acts of Kindness. We wanted to create an organisation that not has minimal overhead, but has zero overhead, where every single penny that is raised is passed directly through to a person in need or to assist an organisation fill a shortfall. We had this dream about 5 years ago, thinking it was groundbreaking. We started writing a business plan and started researching how we would perform random acts in Brevard County. I was working in an office on Babcock Street next to the airport one day and looked out the window and seen a lot of activity on the street. The streets were blocked and there were people lining the streets. I didn't give it much thought that day until I read in the newspaper the next day that a fallen soldier's body was being flown into Melbourne Airport to be laid to rest locally. And a Facebook group named Brevard Random Act of Kindness had posted that the soldier was arriving home and within a matter of a couple of hours, there were a few hundred people there to honour this hero. The first thing that passed through my mind was, wow, we're not that original. But then I said, well, this is who I want to be associated with. So let's meet them and see if we can add some value. The group of local activists had already had a couple of thousand members and performing random acts of kindness daily. From spreading a kind word to buying a type-to-speech keyboard for a vocally impaired teen in Melbourne, this group was started by Bernadette Skipper, who I had the pleasure of knowing for about 5 years now, and to say that she's an amazing individual does not do her justice. I'll say some more about Bernadette in a few minutes. To help, we identified that we need to create an official 501c3 charity, set up a business plan and create clear objectives. We took a few brief steps forward on solidifying this living, breathing entity before we fell a few stories backwards. Laurie, Justin and myself, who had the brainstorm originally 5 years ago, found ourselves unemployed for trying to help this organisation get started. I guess our employer at the time did not believe that our intentions were genuine or that there were people out there who just wanted to make a difference directly, without fanfare, without accolades. We were now in the position of a lot of people in our county who were given a tough break and fallen on hard times. But just as we preached to those we assist today, we collected ourselves, got a new game plan and promised ourselves that has not killed the plan of getting Brevard Random Acts of Kindness off the ground, just delayed it a little. So I'm excited on this National Random Acts of Kindness Day in 2020 to officially launch the organisation, our vision and objectives, website and social media platforms, as well as announce our first pledge of $100,000 to get things started. I'm recording this because I wanted to provide a narrative for BRACS, which is short for Brevard Random Acts of Kindness, about what got us to this point, also about what we're about moving forward. Our vision is simple: to make a positive impact on Brevard County and its residents by spreading the powerful effects of kindness. It's a simple mission, purposely so. Making a difference doesn't need to be complicated, and it should be less about self-promotion and more about the compounding effect of positive change. When you do random acts of kindness, it has an immediate twofold effect. One for the person receiving and one for the person giving. Our aim is to watch these effects ripple right throughout our community. Our programs are designed to meet the needs of our county and therefore will be fluid, changing as the community grows. From our Hand Up program tailored towards individuals and families to our Smile program that promotes kindness on a larger scale. Our Let's Get Together campaign brings together groups of people for a common cause, and our Design Your Own RAC, Random Act of Kindness, enables community members who want to make a specific difference do so through our non-profit, no-cost structure. Such big ambitions means we can't do it alone. We need the help of several stakeholders. Our charitable partners, we have and will continue to make contact with charitable organisations in Brevard County to assist, enhance, or add value to the current services you provide. The last thing we want to do is form another organisation to confuse an already overwhelmed system. If you have needs, we want to know and find ways we can enhance what you do. You don't have to submit 20 pages of a grant request. We don't want your free tickets to your black tie fundraisers. We just want to help you help those in need. Our Bractivists. Bractivists is a term for Brevard Random Act of Kindness activists. Bractivists are those who have the willingness to help others no matter how big or how small. One of the biggest impacts we can make is connect people with each other, and our social media, even with arguable negative impacts, has given us the ability to connect with each other over the county and across the world. To date, we have about 4,400 members on Brevard Random Acts of Kindness Facebook group, and our first priority will be to get that to 10,000 Brevard County residents on the Facebook group. The more people we can connect, the greater the opportunity for change. It's that simple. Philanthropists, we have plenty out here in Brevard County. We hear you and we are here for you. We want to be a resource to you, a free charitable consultant to maximize your effective giving. We're not trying to take away from any organisation you currently give to, we want to enhance it. The power of connecting a community means it can likely lead to finding others who share your goals or ambitions. Remember, we never take a penny from any donation through our general fund, and all of the operational costs incurred by BRACS is paid through our operational account funded by our founders. Today, February 17th, 2020, is National Random Acts of Kindness Day, and I'm extremely excited to launch this on this day, Brevard Random Acts of Kindness, Inc., and announce our first pledge of $100,000, which I said earlier. So thank you for all of those here, and thank you for the opportunity to serve. So now we're officially launched. It's time to get to business. And one of the programs I didn't mention in the little speech there is in the kickoff is our recognition campaign. I've got to tell you, I'm probably the worst at recognition. My wife and kids will tell you, my staff will tell you. It's not that I'm a grouch, and it's not that I don't want to praise others. Rather, I live by the philosophy that true heroes don't want the recognition and don't need it. But as I researched more about the effects of random acts of kindness, I realized how wrong I was. I read a quote once that said, "Appreciation is an amazing thing. It makes what is excellent in someone belong to us all." I've witnessed this firsthand in the past few years just through the engagement on our Facebook page. Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and never giving it. We need to recognize those who are behind the scenes and go above and beyond. So each month, working with our charity partners, we will recognize someone they nominate that goes above and beyond and honor them with the title of Bractivist of the Month. We know that on this journey, we will find extraordinary people who will stand out as true game changers. We want to honor those people in a special way, and that will be by being honored as Bractivist of the Year. These qualities to win such an award are few and far between, although every now and again you'll stumble across someone who has these qualities. Excuse me. I started talking about Bernadette Skipper a little earlier, and she's the true founder of Brevard Random Acts of Kindness. She, along with some friends and family, started this Facebook group, but this wasn't her first group that she started. Prior to starting BRACS, she started a couponing page designed to help Brevard residents save money and get deals. Bernadette grew up as a Coast Guard brat born in the great state of Maine. She joined the US Air Force, a role that eventually moved her to Florida, where she ultimately met her husband Steve. A family of service, no doubt. We decided to call some people who have known Bernadette. They call her selfless, with an innate ability to bring people together. Bernadette would give you the shirt off her back with comments we heard numerous times. So it's my pleasure to present the inaugural award of Bractivist of the Year to the #1 member of the Facebook group and a true community hero, Bernadette Skipper. There you go. You get the #1. You want to say anything?
Personally for me, when my husband got called to active duty from 9/11, I thought I was going to be an art teacher, thought we were going to build our dream house. All of those dreams didn't really come true, and I never really talked about it much to people because it's not fair. There's no comparison. 9/11, my dreams, 9/11. But I did discover that you can have more dreams in life, no matter if something, falls through. But most importantly, my faith in the Lord. I've been going to the church at Brevard for about 16 years and even taken extra classes at the Pizza Gallery for 4 years, just learning about the women of the Bible and theology. But the Holy Spirit just is in my heart. And I love him so much, and he carries me through everything. Stephen just went through so much, 28 years of combat rescue, 20 of it dual status. My lovely neighbor, Miss Lil, is like my second neighbor, and she's always been there as a really good support system too. Sometimes on Mondays like today, I'd come over sometimes and tell her what I learned, and I'd share it with Stephen, even brought him to class today. But everything goes up to the Lord, and it all comes back to us. So I dedicate this to him because, without him, we're all so fleshy. We're all so flesh, and we will perish one day. And I just love him, so he's my light. So thank you.
So that's it for the formalities. So now for us, it's time to get to work. So thank you for putting up with me for the last 10 minutes.
Thank you.